First, a quote: "He didn't deserve to die over $20. These were the words of George Floyd's brother. He was making an emotional plea before U.S. House lawmakers during a hearing on national police reform. Floyd died at the hands of a Minneapolis police officer more than 2 weeks ago after a shopkeeper accused him of passing a counterfeit $20 bill.
George wasn't hurting anyone that day. He didn't deserve to die over $20. I'm asking you, is that what a black man is worth? $20? This is 2020. Enough is enough. I'm here to ask you to make it stop. Stop the pain. Stop us from being tired.
Well, that was the first congressional hearing examining racial injustice and police brutality, 18 days after the incident which sparked widespread and sometimes violent protests. The White House says is reaching, quote, final edits on police reform proposals, but ruled out presidential support to reduce immunity for officers. Mr. Trump is expected to unveil reform measures during his visit to Dallas later today. He'll be visiting the city for a fundraising dinner ahead of the elections in November. Meanwhile, protesters angered by the death of George Floyd have been targeting historic monuments they see as symbols of racial oppression. Statues of Christopher Columbus have been beheaded in Boston and torn down in Richmond, Virginia. In Boston, authorities are investigating the defacement of the city's Columbus statue after it was left headless overnight. They say it's been a subject of repeated vandalism. The Italian explorer was once celebrated for discovering the New World, but is now considered by many to have spurred centuries of brutality against indigenous people. In Richmond, Virginia, a statue of Columbus was ripped from its pedestal, set on fire, and tossed into a nearby lake during a rally in support of indigenous groups. The mayor of Richmond says the atrocities inflicted upon indigenous peoples by Christopher Columbus are unconscionable, but he added the decision to remove a monument should be made in collaboration with the community. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi, has chimed in, calling for the removal of Confederate statues in the Capitol. In a letter to the Congressional Committee, she said 11 statues depicting soldiers and officials of the once pro-slavery South should be immediately removed, describing them as an homage to hate, not heritage. Democratic lawmakers are planning to introduce a bill to take down the statues. Ms. Pelosi's words, a stark contrast to those of Mr. Trump, who rejected the idea of renaming military bases honoring Civil War Confederate leaders. He has described them as part of a great American heritage. The campaign against symbols of racism and colonialism also spreading in Europe. Activists are drawing up a list of statues they want removed, including King Leopold II of Belgium and Irish nationalist leader John Mitchell. Several statues of slave owners or traders and colonialists have been vandalized in the UK in recent days, prompting authorities to vow to review the monuments.